long as we hold the button down, the camera will move. And when we
Please
release
check
the
the
button, it
streaming
will send the key up
record
action
button, blah,
programming,
blah, blah, blah.
which in this
Okay.
case is the pan stop command, and the camera will stop moving. Now you can spend a lot of time programming all the functionality of your camera into these buttons. But the good news is, I've already done it for you. You can download my configuration file from my website and import that into your installation of Companion, and you'll have this all up and running without really having to do much programming at all. So let me show you how to do that. You still need to install the Elgato driver and Companion software, just like I've already shown you. Then download the configuration file from my website and unzip it to your desktop. In Companion, over here on the far right, go to the Import-Export tab. Click Import and select the file you just unzipped. Then click Replace Current Configuration, and that will bring in all of my programming. Now this part is important. I found that at this point I have to restart Companion for the import to take effect. So close the browser window and click the Close button in Companion. Then launch Companion again, and all the programming should be there. Now go to your Instance tab, and what you need to do is click Edit for each instance of the cameras, and enter the actual IP address of your camera. And now you should be able to control your camera programs on the Stream Deck. Once you have things programmed using the browser interface, you can close that. Everything is stored in the Companion program, so you just need that running, and your Stream Deck will work. Let me walk you through page by page and show you what I've programmed the buttons to do. On the first page are your camera preset recall buttons for 3 cameras. It should be pretty self-explanatory. The first row is camera 1 presets, the second row is camera 2 presets, and so forth. The next page is storing presets. So adjust your camera to a position, press the Store Preset 1 button, and that position and zoom have been stored in your camera. So now back on my playback page, if I press camera 1 preset 1, the camera will recall that position. Page 3 is individual camera controls. The arrows should be pretty obvious. They move the camera. The plus and minus buttons zoom in and out. And this top left button will send the focus far command, which will move the focus out. The next button down, which is focus near, will move the focus closer. And the bottom button I call spot focus. It puts the camera in autofocus as long as I'm holding the button down, and then when I release the button, it will go back to manual focus. These buttons here on the top and bottom right are just quick ways to store preset 1 and store preset 2 for this camera while I'm on this page with my camera controls, without having to go back to the other page to store them. Page 4 gives me exposure control for the camera. The 4 button modes across the top will change the exposure mode, selecting between manual, auto, shutter priority, and iris priority. Then down below are buttons I can use to increase or decrease the shutter speed, as well as 2 common shutter speeds I can recall. And then over here, I can control the iris up and down, as well as jump to 2 iris settings. The next pages are just repeats of what you've already seen, but for camera 2 and 3. You can tell what camera you're controlling by the number in the center button, which is a home position button, so it takes the camera back to its home position. When you're on the exposure page, the numbers across the top will tell you what camera you're controlling. Let me know in the comments if you use this programming for your Stream Deck. I'd love to hear if you're using it and what improvements you've made. If you haven't already, pick up a Stream Deck. You can find a link to that down in the description of this video. They are a really handy tool for live production. I'm going to be making a video about using it to control OBS and a video server along with an ATEM switcher. So be sure and subscribe to my channel. Until next time.
Delete.
Lesson number 23. You know you built different, and name a shoe after you.
Ooh, these are fire. Now let's add the whole ball.
You got that much cheddar?
I'm made with cheddar. Want it, need it, cheese it.
Losing revenue from missed calls? Get AI Receptionist. Set up in minutes, answer calls day and night, book appointments, send texts. All on one agentic voice AI platform. Get a demo at ringcentral.com.
The Elgato Stream Deck. If you don't have one by now, well,
you're trash. Now, I'm just kidding. But if you guys don't know by now, the Elgato Stream Deck is basically a device with a bunch of buttons which allows you to do macro controlling with it. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you can customize it so that it opens up programs, opens up websites, play, pause, skip music. You can use it to select different scenes in OBS. That's why a lot of streamers use an Stream Deck. And there's just a limitless amount of use cases for the Stream Deck. But one thing that is always overlooked is how it looks. Now, Elgato fortunately allows us to do a lot of customizations to it, but whenever I see somebody use an Elgato Stream Deck, yeah, they have a lot of cool things that they can do with it, but their button layout looks like trash. So that's what I'm here for. I'm gonna help you guys make your Elgato Stream Deck look beautiful, alright? And hopefully, by the time your Elgato Stream Deck looks beautiful, you're gonna leave a like and you're gonna subscribe to this video, of course, because you know it's me. But not only that, but you're gonna be using the Elgato Stream Deck much more often. So without further ado, let me show you how to make your Stream Deck look.
There you go, that's what I was looking for.
Now, this video is not teaching you on how to do any type of macros or any use cases for the Elgato Stream Deck. It's solely meant for just cosmetic reasons, just to make it look good and appetizing and make it look like you want to actually stream and do stuff with your Stream Deck. Now, I'm going to show you a couple different ways in order to get your Stream Deck looking beautiful. Now, there are free ways and there are paid ways. Of course, we're going to go through the free ways first and probably the most simplest ways. That way you can get started with making your Stream Deck look good. So the first free option you can utilize is from Elgato themselves. What you do is you head over to the Stream Deck and you click on any type of button that you currently have running, and you just go over to the down arrow and then you click on create new icon. Now this of course is going to send you to the Elgato page, which you could just utilize some of the elements that they already have, and then you could just use that. Then you just save key, and then you just upload it from the file, and you could just save it onto your Stream Deck. Also, a new thing they just implemented was if you do the same process where you click on whatever button you choose, and then you click the down arrow again, you could then click on Open Stream Deck Icon Library. And they give you a whole list of different types of icons that you can use. Of course, they do look kind of basic, and that's why they are free, but it is the most simplest way to get started with getting your icons kind of all matching together and making them kind of uniform if you're into that. Now, these are two great options from Elgato. Thank you, Elgato, for actually doing this. But I just feel like they kind of lack that oomph, you know what I'm saying? Like that personality, that customizability. You know, I don't think that's a word, but we're gonna go with it. So my next option is actually from Nerd Guide. Now this option is a free-ish, and by free-ish, what I'm talking about is that it is free, but they do ask you to donate to them to support the creators of that type of icon key set. But of course, if you don't have any money, then yeah, you can just download it for free. But I do recommend, if you do have a couple dollars on you, I do recommend that you do support the creators of those icons. Now, they do have three different options. They have the Clarity, the Nova, and the Aora. Me personally, I like the Aora the best because the entire key has some type of color to it. The other two options, although they have like a different style and they do have color, but it's not the entire key, it's just the picture within the key, if that makes any sense. So for me personally, I like the Aora, and that's currently what I use today. And of course, like I said earlier, this suggested price is $2, but you can get it for free. All you have to do is just enter a 0 in the name your price area and then add to cart. Once you have it downloaded, you're gonna have a folder full of different keys. Now these are all going to work with your Stream Deck, and as you can see, they have way more flair than the Elgato options. And this is great if you're a YouTube streamer or a Twitch streamer, or if you use this for office use and you want it to open up different applications. You could definitely use these keys because they have everything here, from applications to Internet Explorer to
Lay's baked crisps are oven baked with delicious olive oil.
The #1 doctor recommended pain relief brands. Now in a fast liquid gel.
Looking for self-storage in New York? Let us handle the heavy lifting Wunsch's has secure and hassle-free storage with no extra costs. Visit us today at wunschselfstorage.com.
I'm not a plumber. How do I stop this?
The valve is behind the white hose. Turn it clockwise to shut off the water.
Still dripping.
Wrapping it in a dish towel should help contain the drip. Then go to the breaker box and flip the dishwasher switch so it can't autofill.
Alright. Feed beans.
So on and so forth. Now, fun fact, even though I did say that I did get my keys from Aora, I kind of didn't, because it's not like I just copied and pasted what they gave me. What I actually did was that I took what they offered, threw it into Photoshop, and then I'll just cut out the image that was within the icon, and I created my own customized icon at the end of the day. The reason I did that was that I wanted my own customized gradient colors. Some of the options that they give you do have a gradient, but if I chose to have a different color, it's not something that I could customize. So that's why I have Photoshop, and this is something you can also do on Canva, which is a free option. I know Photoshop is not free, but Canva is free. So if you don't want to pay for Photoshop and you still want to customize things, what you can do is just head over to Canva and you can do it on there as well. The only thing you need to do is make sure that whatever size project you have is a square. Okay, so you can do like 1080 by 1080 like what I did, but as long as it's a square, you should be fine. And this is a perfect example of how I changed up the Twitch chat icon to a regular chat message, because after all, I do stream on YouTube, so I don't use Twitch, so I kind of don't want that whole purple aspect to the chat icon. So what I did here was that I added over the Twitch chat icon to Photoshop, and then I just duplicated the layers so that the top layer, I would just cut out the chat symbol and the background would be separate. Now in the chat symbol, I did actually add in 3 different rectangles, and this is more to indicate that, hey, this is for chatting wise. And as you can see, I kind of played around with the sizing. I was trying to get it right. Kind of didn't feel great at first, but at the end I did get it correct. Afterwards, on the background, which is just the purple gradient, what I ended up doing was that I changed the color to yellow and green, and for the background I changed the gradient up from just that purple to a purple and yellow. Later I ended up changing it to purple and green because I kind of wasn't feeling the yellow. It was a little bit too much, and I darkened the background just a little bit so that my icon could pop out, and I also added a border to the chat message icon. That way, you know, it could kind of stand out from the background. And lastly, I did add in like a white layering on the background of the chat logo. That way it kind of stands out from the background as well. But in a nutshell, it wasn't too difficult to do this. Of course, this is completely optional. You do not need to do this. I only did this because my color is green, so I wanted a green aspect with the chat message logo. Also, I felt like this color scheme was good for my stream deck to kind of coincide with everything else there. So at the end, I'm kind of happy with what the result ended up being. If you guys want a more in-depth guide on how I did this in Photoshop, I could definitely do a step-by-step tutorial on how to do that. I don't know how many people utilize Photoshop, and this is more to show like how I do it. But of course, let me know in the comment section down below if you guys want me to follow up on this and make a step-by-step tutorial on how to do this. Now, in terms of where things should be located on your stream deck, that's really up to you. I would not recommend having like all the reds next to each other and all the greens next to each other. Kind of mix it up, that way it kind of has like a nice flow to it. In my case, I kind of have a lot of reds next to each other, but that's just because it's simple and it makes sense for me. So even though I shouldn't do that and I'm kind of not listening to my own advice, it still works out for me, and I think at the end of the day it looked kind of good. So these are just some fun, cool ways to customize your icons on your stream deck. I'm quite satisfied with the look of it, and ever since I moved over to YouTube, that's when I made the switch in the look of my stream deck, and I could not be any more happier. Of course, if you guys have any questions and you want to ask me, I stream every Wednesday on YouTube, so you can head on over, ask me any question you like, or you just hang out and chill with your boy. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe for more content like this. But anyways, guys, my name is Matthew. Thank you so much for watching. But as always, peace out.
Minus can create a video script like this, Minus is truly magical. Select Create Image, input your script idea, and Minus quickly processes and produces it. Your vision can be realized in a short time. Such a perfect video script is generated in an instant. Let Minus create it for you.
Give it a try? Download now.
Golf is many things. Beautiful, euphoric, and a real joy.
Swing through the ball, your head down, tuck your elbow in, feel the ground. Is this what you do with these shorts?
Relax, you look great. Golf Galaxy is the place for players obsessed with the game. That's why we've got the latest apparel. Shoes, accessories, and hats. So you can focus on your swing, because you already know you look good. Get ready for launch at Golf Galaxy.
If you're a streamer or content creator, then chances are you've heard of Elgato's Stream Deck. This handy little interface is used by thousands of content creators across the world to assist them in managing their live broadcasts. There are tons of videos out there on how you can set up and use your Stream Deck for things like switching scenes, muting microphones, and moderating chat. There are very few videos about the really advanced things that this device can do. So in this video, I will be sharing 9 advanced tips that you can easily implement to upgrade your Stream Deck. Just before we dive into the tips, I want to give a quick thank you to the sponsor of this video, NordPass. Guys, it's 2021. You can't keep using the same weak, repeated passwords everywhere on the internet. It's time you got yourself a password manager that you can store all of your passwords, credit card details, and private notes securely. NordPass is a new generation password manager built by the security experts at NordVPN. It's easy to set up and works across all your different browsers and devices. It will automatically fill out your login information and even generate super secure passwords for you. So do your future self a favor and sign up for NordPass using the link at the top of the description. You'll get a whopping 74% off plus your first 4 months for free. If, like me, you make use of a second or maybe even a third monitor to manage all of the different aspects of your stream, things like OBS Studio, your Twitch chat, your Twitch dashboard, maybe your music software, your audio software to make sure that they're all being sent to the right channels, then you're probably used to arranging all of these applications in pixel-perfect locations on your second and third monitors, and that can take quite a bit of time. There's a Stream Deck plugin called Windows Mover that you can add, which allows you to save the specific position and size of any open application, so that the next time whilst it's open, all you have to do is click the button on your Stream Deck and it will snap directly into place. Now, I'd recommend actually setting a multi-action of several different instances of this Windows Mover action, one for each application that you use whilst you're streaming. That way, it's only one click on your Stream Deck and all of your applications nestle their way into position. If we take this one step further, you could actually, in the multi-action, add the actual launching of these applications first by using the System Open action. Just make sure that you add a suitable delay after the launch actions, as you don't want them to trigger the move actions before they finish opening. There's 2 different plugins for the Stream Deck that I use for my audio. The first is super simple, it's called Audio Switcher, and it allows you to toggle between 2 different audio devices. So I actually use this button all the time to swap between the speakers and the headset as my default option on my PC, or for swapping between different microphone inputs if I'm testing out a new microphone or audio interface. The second plugin is especially useful for those of you that use something like a Go XLR, or Wavelink software, or Rode Connect, or even Voicemeeter with virtual audio cables. Basically, for anybody that's wanting to send certain application audio to different audio outputs. The plugin is called Sound Deck, and it has an action called Set App Audio Device that allows you to easily change the audio device used by any application. Previously, I had to open up sound settings, scroll all the way down to app volume, device preferences, and then manually change the output device used by each application. Instead, now I have this set up to allow me to change the output device of any focus application to use my Go XLR's music channel. That way, when I'm getting ready to stream, I can focus Spotify, click one button on my Stream Deck, and it'll start using the music device rather than my speakers, which now gives me full control over the audio levels of my music music using my GoXLR. I have a similar button which does the exact same but with any chat applications and sending it to the chat channel. So if I want Discord or Zoom or even a call through my browser in Google Hangouts to start using my chat channel on my GoXLR, it's just one button press when the app is focused. Again, just to reiterate, this isn't specific to having a GoXLR. This works with Wavelink software from Elgato or Rode Connect from Rode, or even Voicemeeter and virtual audio cables. It's basically just a way to set a certain application to use a certain audio device. One thing that I think is important to do before you go live is just to check your internet connection. The last thing you want to do is go live and get your audience all hyped, only for them to have a buffering stream because you're dropping frames all over the place. And thankfully, there are some tools in the Stream Deck's plugin store that can help you test that. The speed test plugin will run a full test on speedtest.net and give
You don't do it very often, so if you do it, it's just like, you know, it's whatever. Unless you want me to wait and come pick you up.
Just to see if there's any issues with your upload speed before you go live. WinTools is
Well, I
a
gotta
plugin
move
with
it
various
eventually anyway,
functions for
but
Windows users, but
yeah.
in particular we're going to talk about the ping option that you can set up to ping a certain IP address to test your latency. So I have this set up to ping google.com and a couple of different game servers that I use, just to give me a good overview of if there are any latency issues. You can even set
I don't know
images
yet.
to show
I haven't decided. I was gonna figure it out once I pick Elijah up.
thresholds. So I have that
Because when you didn't call me early, you didn't come early, I figured that I was probably gonna pick him up.
25 milliseconds. Unfortunately, you can't currently ping Twitch's ingest servers, which are the actual servers that you're streaming to test your connection before you go live. You have to currently go through Twitch's API to be able to do that. So that would be a really useful function. I've actually spoken to Barrader, who is the guy that's made probably over 50% of the plugins that we're mentioning today, to see if he would be interested in making a plugin to do just that. So if you see this come out in a couple of months' time,
Oh, they found the leak. The leak was upstairs.
thank me, thank Barrader.
They found the leak. Junior came down there and showed me the pictures of it. It was squirting behind the wall.
From Phil, who is the technical
So it looks like the corner of our bathroom not fell in, but the plastic fell down a little bit. It's like a big ass bubble. I gotta take a picture of the fuse.
Addresses of those devices, and then you can again test things in your local network before going live.
Do the thing again. Exactly.
Changing how you shop can feel
But you definitely came today and did the walkthrough and all that shit. Oh, I need you to put peanut butter on your list. What peanut butter? I just finished eating the last of the peanut butter. We got more? Oh, perfect. Alright. Okay, if we do that, that's a good thing.
I went back to school at 39, 33, 42. And now my skills much better. At Capella University, we have the center for which we see what can be do.
Yeah, you still have to grab it this second. You still eventually grab it.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema.
So yeah, I mean, I could totally see that though. It's bullshit. If that's the case, the whole, you know, keep people on their fucking toes type thing. Well, I'm like questioning, should I miss my son's concert to teach this class when I know I did right by putting it on the staffing calendar? You should see my emails. I got for myself. Because I was like, I had put this a few weeks ago on the calendar that I was unavailable until 12 on this date. Now, please let me know if there's another calendar I should put this information on. Because I'll be glad to do that going forward.
Exactly.
And then the coordinator reached out to me on the side. I'm so sorry. I'll change it. And I told her, I said, you know I'm not a troublemaker. You know I'll do whatever. I never say no. But this is my son's school concert.
If you want a simple and easy way to create countdown timers on your stream, for example, in your starting soon scene, there is a plugin called Stream Countdown Timer that you can use to create any length timer and show that on your Stream Deck, which can also update the text file you can then add into your streaming software. You can
Oh
choose
my god,
exactly what
this
is
day
displayed, if
open,
anything,
this
when the
fucking
countdown
lesson, this
ends,
shit is a
and you can
fucking
also
big lesson.
pause and resume
You know, this
timers with a
woman
single tap on
who
your
was a
screen door.
universe
If you're ever
she's
running
not
a
gonna be an
stream
impatient
marathon
person.
where maybe
She was like, oh my
time
god,
left
you
increases
said
when
that
you
to
hit
her?
a certain subscriber
And I
threshold,
said,
you can
yeah, that
also
shit was
set
like,
display
that's
times to
universe, so I
increase
just checked
or
the game and
decrease
checked
the
them out.
timer by a certain
She
amount
said,
each
now you
time you
could
press a
really
button.
in
For
for
those
the
of you who
trap
like to
again.
display counters like
I
your win
told her, and
loss
I said,
results or
listen,
how many deaths you've had
I'm
on your
gonna be
stream,
100%
there's also a plugin
transparent
called
with you.
Stream Counter,
Everybody
which
said I'm
allows
too
you to keep track
transparent in the
of how many
training,
times
but
a
I'm gonna let
button
you
has been
know.
pressed, and again
Out
output
of
that
all
result
the
to a text
fucking
file
plans I
which you can
know,
add into your
this
streaming
is the
script.
one
That whole process
that
makes
is
it
the
so much
biggest.
easier than going into
This is the
OBS
one that
Studio
has
and
the
updating these
most
numbers manually
stuff.
each time you die.
Cause it's a,
If you
even
make
though to
use
the
of an
point of
Elgato
recording
capture
the
card to
lesson,
capture something like a
I ain't even
camera
gonna
or a
lie. I
second
was like,
PC or a games
you know
console,
what?
then you can use something called
I'm not
flashback
even
recording
gonna.
to
I'm not even gonna say
retroactively
this.
save the previous
Like,
up to 30
I'm like,
minutes
they're not
as a
gonna
high
remember this
quality
shit
video file.
anyway.
Now you can
I
set this up to
covered
be
the
anything
main
from the past
important
15 seconds
topics, and that
all the
was
way up
it.
to past 30 minutes, and I'd recommend having a few different
Alright.
buttons so that you can quickly click it with
Cause
only a
I
short moment of
can't
game
do
up a shorter
every
time,
single
and then
little
you don't have
itty
to scrub
gritty
through
thing, and
30 minutes of video
I
footage.
hate to
This
say it like
becomes
that, but I'm gonna have
particularly
to talk to
useful
the
if
woman
you want
who's
to
doing this
repurpose any
lesson.
of
I
your
said,
live
listen,
content for
I
other
get it that
mediums
I
where
ended
having a
early,
full quality version of something like
but
your camera feed would be
it's
super
not even
helpful.
so much that I
In
ended
fact, a tip
early.
that I
It's
would
the
share
amount of
would be to set up
content.
a multi-action to save both the
Because I've
flashback
done
recording of, say, your camera
not
and
since
OBS
all
Studio's
day
replay buffer
and not
simultaneously.
from
This way you'll have both the
this
full quality
time,
stream
you
recording
know?
and the full quality camera recording
Exactly.
that you can use however you want in your editing software without having to do
Um,
any weird reframing or cropping
so
around your
it's
tiny camera.
definitely more fact. It's the content. But
If you like to end your streams by raiding one of your friends over
and
on
it was
Twitch
funny
and
too, because
sending all of
during the
your viewers
lesson,
across
I
to them,
straight up said,
then
you know
there's
what,
an action
everyone?
in the Twitch
I'm
Tools
sorry.
plugin that
I
makes
don't
it
feel
super simple to do.
comfortable
The
about this
action is
section,
called Live
so I'd
Streamers, and it
rather
shows
just
you
skip
the
it
number of
and show
streamers
you all
you
a very
follow on
clear
Twitch that are
overview
currently live.
than a
Clicking on
very
that button
shoddy,
opens up a
spotty,
folder showing you a
you know,
preview of all
picture
of those
print
created streams, how
lesson
many viewers
that
they've
they
got,
that
and you can
y'all.
press on that
Remember
button
one
and
girl,
then
when she
raid the
left,
channel with all of your viewers.
she
You can
said,
also
thank
set
you
this
very
action up to
much.
post the
This
talent
was
rather
very,
than raid
what
them.
did she say?
This